collection of photos from my visit to the Jaguar Heritage Centre at Gaydon back in 2019. Enjoy. This is a Jaguar Daimler X308 body, Daimler Super V8 long wheelbase. This was actually Her Majesty the Queen's own car until it was donated back to the Heritage Trust in 2004. This 420G saloon was new in 1969. It remained with its one and only owner until 1985, when they generously donated it to the Heritage Trust. This XJ6 Series 2 4.2 litre was bought new in 1976 by a couple who bought it as a wedding present for one of their children. They kept the car until the year 2000, when they generously donated it to the Jaguar Heritage Trust so that it could be preserved. This 1978 XJ12 Series 2 5.2 litre coupe was retained by Jaguar once it was completed on its production line, since it was the final production XJ6 Series 2 coupe to be made. This 1987 Jaguar Sovereign Series 3 was the final Jaguar saloon to feature the famous XK engine, putting an end to some 40 years of production. This is a one-off prototype estate version of the Jaguar XJ40, built in 1992. It never went into production. The project was abandoned due to the difficult climate of the early 90s, so the project was scrapped. In 1997, this was the final Jaguar to carry the XJ6 name, when they brought to the end the production of the AJ16 six-cylinder inline engine to make way for the X300 XJ8, which used the V8 engine. This very striking XJ marked the introduction in 2002 of the X350 model. This particular car was built and highly polished to show the body of the XJ, which was an all-aluminium construction. And following on from that XJ, this particular one, a very rare Super V8 portfolio, was actually the final car to be built at the Browns Lane factory before production moved to Castle Bromwich. And sticking with XJs, this time a 1995 version, this double extended saloon was used by Ford and Jaguar CEO Nick Scheel. Nick sadly passed away in 2014, aged 70. And the first of a few cars that never quite made it into production, unfortunately. This Daimler Corsica convertible was an XJ-based experiment, never intended to go into production, although a lot of people were interested in purchasing the vehicle. It was just a showcase car. And again, this XJ40 V12 Coupe was just used towards the end of the XJ40's life as a study model, just to gather information, try out a few new things, but the project never went into production. The concept vehicle for the XF Saloon. This car is surprisingly close to the vehicle that went into production, closer really to the facelift in 2012. And the R Coupe, with its very distinctive S-type style front end. Again, just a showpiece, never intended to go into production. Shame really, because it is a stunning looking vehicle. This concept from 2000 is actually the F-Type original concept vehicle, first used at the Geneva Motor Show. The F-Type didn't actually go into production until 2012, and it looks very, very different to this original concept. This XK180 concept car unfortunately only made it to concept stage, never went into production. It was shown to the general public at the Paris Motor Show in 1998. It received good attention from the members of the public, but unfortunately it never went into production. It is a shame because it is a stunning looking vehicle based on the shortened XKR platform. And in the last of our concept cars, the XJ42. This was built in 1988. Jaguar were experimental with a potential replacement for the XJS. Unfortunately, the project wasn't well received and didn't go into production. And the Jaguar XJ220. This is number 8 of 10 development cars. It was intended to have a V12 engine. Unfortunately, it could only come out of the factory with a V6. Granted, there were 2 turbos and 500 horsepower. But during the recession of the early 90s, a lot of customers cancelled their orders, meaning only 277 cars were completed. Jaguar's diesel S-Type development vehicle used at the Nürburgring. And a fire tender XJR6 from 1995. This XKR convertible was used by the villain in the James Bond film Die Another Day, which premiered in 2002 and features missiles and a machine gun. The machine gun is mounted where the roof mechanism would be, so the roof on this vehicle, as you can imagine, does not work. The very colourful Jaguar F-Type Bloodhound vehicle. I don't know an awful lot about this car. If you know more than me, please leave it in the comments below or drop me a message. A early 2015 F-Type Project 7 development car alongside one of the original D-Type racing cars. The F-Type Project 7 was designed to hark back to the fantastic racing days of the 1960s. And the stunning CX-75 concept car, which was a hybrid. Such a shame that this never made it into production. It would have been very popular, I'm sure. And probably the most famous E-Type in the world, 77RW, famously driven from England all the way through to Geneva in one stint for the Geneva Motor Show, where when Jaguar first unveiled it, the demand was so high that this second demonstrator had to be driven through the night to supply the demand. It was also used in several royal weddings and has been used by Top Gear when the Eagle Speedster launched. And alongside that, this XJSC, famously owned by Princess Diana herself. There is a photograph of the princess driving this exact car on the bonnet of the vehicle, which you'll see in just a moment. And alongside the princess's car is this, the final production Jaguar XJS convertible, completed in 1996. And the final ever Jaguar XJS to be built, this 1996 XJS 6-litre V12 Coupe. And this fantastic Jaguar XKR convertible, which was a Jaguar press car, and it actually had the Union Jack painted on. It's not a wrap. Not sure how you'd feel about driving this across to Germany, though. And alongside that, the final ever X100 shape Jaguar XK to be produced. This in particular is an XKR Coupe. And alongside that, the prototype for the replacement Jaguar XK Coupe. This particular one is an all aluminium coupe construction. And the final ever XK ever produced, this XKR Dynamic 5-litre V8, finished in stunning Italian racing red. And here alongside each other is the very first XFS V8 alongside the very first XFR saloon. And the very last S-Type saloon produced, this one being the S-Type R with the supercharged 4.2 litre V8 engine. And finally we have the very last X-Type ever produced, this one being the X-Type Sovereign Estate, and it's also side by side with the very first X-Type to be produced, the 3-litre V6 Sport Saloon, which of course was the Ford-derived engine, but absolutely fantastic nonetheless. So I'll leave you now with some wall art from around the Jaguar Heritage Centre at Gaydon. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do please like, share and subscribe. We're trying to get the channel off the ground and it would mean the world to me if you would like, share and subscribe. And also let me know in the comments anything you want me to feature. I do have access to a fully working JLR dealership at the moment. So if there's something specific you want to see about Jaguar or Land Rover's current lineup, please drop a comment below and I'll see what I can do for you. Thank you very much again for watching and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.